Hi and welcome to Robens. Here I'm going to give you some training on our adventure range of tents. The tent that we're using here is our triple dreamer, but what I talk about can be applied to all of the tents within the range. So I just want to start off by talking about the Flysheet that we use in this range of tents. This is our Hydrotex 5000. So this is a 75 denier polyester material which has been PU coated on the inside, and then all of the seams have been taped, and it has a hydrostatic head of 5,000 millimeters. Just bear in mind that for mainland Europe, for something to be classed as waterproof, it has to be at least 1,000 millimeters, and in the UK, at least 1,500 millimeters. So at 5,000 millimeters, you can certainly be confident to tell your customers that this tent is completely waterproof. Not only is it waterproof though, it's going to stay waterproof for a much longer period of time because of the high hydrostatic head that we have on here. All of the tents use lightweight alloy poles, which are still nice and strong. These are T6 alloy, and they have been anodized to ensure that they're not going to corrode over time. And we'll always try to color code the poles to the sleeves just to make sure that your customers should find pitching these tents really as simple as possible. You'll find that we use our storm guard system on all of the tents as well. This is where we wrap webbing around the poles, which we have the guylines attached to, and then when we pull the guylines out, what happens is it pulls the entire frame, the entire fabric against the frame of the tent, and it actually makes it really stable. So again, you can be confident to tell your customers when they ask you what it's like in bad weather, that this tent is completely waterproof, as I said, and also it's going to be nice and stable in high winds as well. So some other great features that you'll find on the tent to point out is our ventilation panels. We have some down the sides of the tents, and also at the front as well. We have small ventilation pockets just here too. And you'll also find that we have ventilation panels across the back of the tent, which are pretty unique in that the whole back here is one large mesh vent underneath the panel here. And if we want to get rid of it, we can simply just undo the Velcro tabs, and then you'll find that there's a zip at the end here. So when it's quite chilly, we can simply close this over to keep the customers that little bit more comfortable inside. All of the guylines that you'll find on the tents all use the storm guard system, just like this here. So this is where we attach the guylines themselves to this webbing, which is wrapped around the poles, and then when the guylines are pulled out and pegged into position, it actually pulls all of the Flysheet against the frame of the tent and makes it far more stable. Obviously, we're using our Robens red guylines, so these are a little bit more visible. Each of the guylines also has its own retainer, so definitely worth pointing this out to the customers that when it comes to packing down the tent, they can wrap up the guylines in their hands and then pop them in here so that the next time they come to use it, they don't have a big tangled mess of guylines that they have to spend time undoing. We also have mud valances around the front of all the dreamers just to encourage any rainwater to run down and away from the inside of the tent. So obviously here we are inside the tent, and there's plenty for you to talk to your customers about as well. So we have a bathtub style detachable ground sheet in here, which is a double coated polyethylene material, so it's really heavy duty and durable, and it has a hydrostatic head of 10,000 millimeters. And like I say, it just attaches in to position, and you can either have at the doors the ground sheet lying flat, or obviously we can zip that up as well just to reduce any drafts. Some other features in here to highlight is obviously we have windows on all of the tents, and you'll find that the curtains can just be rolled away like this here and toggled into position, or obviously if you want a little bit more privacy, then they can be closed completely. And then we also have the mesh ventilation across the top here, which we highlighted on the outside of the tent. When it comes to the bedrooms, again, there's plenty to talk about to your customers here. First is probably the fact that they come pre-attached, so that's a job that your customer doesn't need to worry about. Quite simply, when they put the poles up on the outside of the tent and raise it into position, we'll already find that the bedrooms are in place. You can actually just see here that they are zipped into place. So what that does is just take any stress at all off of the seam at the top of the bedroom itself, because it's suspended with this mesh netting all the way around here. Other features on the bedrooms, you can clearly see here that we have storage pockets on the outside, and we also have some storage pockets on the inside. You see that the doors have mesh paneling on here as well, which do have curtains behind them, which can be closed over for a little bit more privacy. Inside, you'll also find that we have the blackout mesh across the top, so in the mornings, Hopefully you're not going to be woken up too early with sunshine. This will keep it nice and dark. And across the back, that's the large ventilation panel that we mentioned earlier on that corresponds to the outside panel. On any of the tents that have got the bedrooms like this at the back, you'll find we can separate the bedrooms with a sheet of material which can be completely zipped closed, or it can be opened up to create one large bedroom as well. And a great feature on some of the tents as well is that we're using the universal inner. So that's where you find these zips in the middle here. So all we have to do is just unzip around here like this. If we just undo at the top, we're just going to take these zips here, we can do this, and you'll see that that whole bedroom would just drop down completely. If we just untoggle around the back, that can then be rolled up, leaving one bedroom and giving the customers even more living space. You'll find that we have plenty of optional extras available for your customers, including bedrooms. We also have Oxford polyester ground sheets, and we have the shade catchers, which just create an extension for these tents as well. So that's all the information I can give you on the adventure range, and I hope you found that useful. Thanks very much for watching.